Hello, and welcome back to Fountain Penthropology, where we explore the world of fountain pens and those who wield them. My name is Michael, and I'm your personal penthropologist as we go along this journey. And today we're here to talk about the value and values of fountain pens. Now, when I say value of fountain pens, you might be thinking, oh, well, how much do they cost? But we're not going to be talking as much about cost today as we're going to be talking about the practical, ethical, and moral values of fountain pens and fountain pen users. And this conversation was inspired by a few things. The first being a recent purchase from Gravitas pens that you can see right here. I purchased the flagship in stainless steel and the Century model in Ultem. And I did this not just because they were on sale, but because I was hearing some really great things about Gravitas from not just Emmy and Pen Venture, not just from Ben Walsh himself, but from various members of the fountain pen community on Reddit, as well as the Vote of Confidence by Figboot, David Parker, Doodlebud, and others who have praised the craftsmanship, the value, and how much the company has improved their customer relations over the past year and a half. And that brought me to really why fountain pens are so much more than writing utensils or fine writing instruments. And that's because they represent some practical value, and they represent a lot of ethical and moral values that many members of the fountain pen community hold. So I want to talk to you a little bit about those practical values at first. Then we'll move on to what I see are some of the biggest ethical and moral values that define the fountain pen community, especially on Reddit. And then talk a little bit about how some current and past controversies have shown just how strong the values of the fountain pen community are. So let's first talk about the practical value of pens. First of all, let's talk about sustainability. Fountain pens are more sustainable than our disposable pens, our ballpoints. Even there are some that, yes, you can exchange the cartridge in the ballpoint or rollerball pen, but it's a lot more metal. The pieces are a lot bigger. It's a lot more hassle. And so with fountain pens, what you're doing is usually you're either refilling a converter or you're using a cartridge. And I always recommend that you refill cartridges, that you clean them out, and that you reuse them, syringe fill them with a blunt tip syringe. I really feel that these fountain pens are made to last, a lot of them, most of them, especially the ones from Gravitas, but many other fountain pen brands create pens that are truly meant for a lifetime and meant for that user's entire lifetime. And so they're really great for the environment because you're only buying ink. You don't have to keep buying pens. We'll talk in a future video about the differences between maybe collecting versus hoarding, and the economics of fountain pens. But when I talk about values here in this video, we're definitely talking more about practical and ethical values. I also want to talk about the fact that writing with fountain pens and just writing physically as opposed to typing on the keyboard is much better for memory retention. Neuroscientists have done many studies, and it's true, even in my case, in taking classes in anthropology and just learning to think through really complex problems in anthropology, that writing things down is helping me better process my thoughts, helping me remember facts better, and really having a great time while doing it because it's such a great tactile feel, putting the fountain pen nib to the page. I also, really think that another practical value of fountain pens is that it's really your personal expression, and that you can express your creativity in ways that you really can't, or can't as easily with other kinds of pens, and especially not while typing. It's fountain pens, that metal tip of the nib to paper is a really special experience, especially when you have it tuned just right. And I'm really picky about my fountain pens being tuned just right. And it allows us to have a level of personal expression, writing letters, postcards, and, sometimes affixing wax seals to your envelopes to seal them with your own seal. These special touches really add a creative element and allow our personal expression, our character, to come through when we're communicating with others. Because fountain pens can not just be for recording our own thoughts, journaling, which is a really popular pastime to do as well, but it really is also designed to bring us together, to communicate with each other. And so in doing so, we really are able to express ourselves to a great degree. And that's something that I really love about fountain pens. And I really feel that creating that analog interpersonal connection is another one of the practical values of fountain pens. Receiving a handwritten letter from somebody shows that they took the time to physically write their thoughts to you, put them in an envelope, put the stamp on, put it in the mailbox, and rather than typing out an email or jotting down something and taking a picture and sending it over via text message. I really think that that interpersonal connection through analog writing devices is something very special and something that, quite frankly, we've lost as a society. And I love that fountain pens help us rekindle that interpersonal connection. On to the ethical values of fountain pens and the fountain pen community. Definitely, in terms of being community-oriented, fountain pens allow people to explore these different writing instruments and inks and papers in different ways, and it really creates a really tight-knit community that we can see through pen shows, through the fountain pen Reddit community, amongst other online communities as well. I definitely use the Reddit fountain pen community. I post and comment, and I love when there are new members because everyone just seems so welcoming with pen recommendations. It's not just, oh, we'll go read the FAQ. We actually genuinely care, and we want to get to know each of these new users, figure out why and how they've explored this world of fountain pens and what they hope to get out of it. And it really creates a wonderful connection with new people. I've met some really fantastic people through my love of fountain pens, and I've enjoyed penabling a lot of my friends and family and colleagues who are also in anthropology. So I love that fountain pens can create that real tight sense of community. Even if it's people that want to express themselves through personal journaling who are not going to be sharing what they're writing, it's still that passion of using these fine writing instruments that really brings people together. I also want to mention social justice and inclusivity because I think this is really important. And regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, I do feel that standing for social justice and being inclusive should transcend politics, that respecting other people, regardless of who they are, what they believe, where they come from, what they look like, is an inherently human thing to do. And I really feel that the fountain pen community embraces that. We've seen several controversies crop up, whether it be from Noodler's ink and the use of possibly anti-Semitic imagery on the ink bottles, to the recent controversy with the Goulet Pen Company, where a church that they were affiliated with in the past, but then connected to through a new church, said things that were homophobic and insulted the LGBTQ plus community. And the fountain pen community responded in a quite positive manner, supporting the LGBTQ plus community and reinforcing that just because of one's sexuality or one's gender identity doesn't mean that they are any less human, that they're not murderers, that they have so much to contribute to society, and that as fountain pen users, we celebrate them as we celebrate everyone else, and that's with open arms and respect and understanding. And that's something that has been truly special to see in the fountain pen community, is the overwhelmingly positive response in support of the LGBTQ plus community. I also want to talk about honesty and integrity because that brings me back to Gravitas pens. In the past, Gravitas has received a lot of negative publicity for not responding as quickly to customer service complaints as, quite frankly, we would like to see. And it was because Ben Walsh, the owner and chief designer of Gravitas pens, it was a one-man operation. I know that David Parker, or Fig Boot on Pens, talks about this in a few of his most recent videos. But it, to me, demonstrates a really strong value of honesty and integrity within the fountain pen community, that we can have conversations about holding pen companies, pen retailers, pen manufacturers accountable for their actions, but in a way that we still uplift them, give them a chance to correct things, to set things right with customers, and to keep giving them business if they do change their ways and make a positive impact on the community. And that's what we've seen with Gravitas. Fig Boot put it really eloquently, talking about the fact that he had a project with them, the Gravitas Bifrost, that I hope to be receiving soon and can review on this channel for you, where he held on to that project for probably over a year, I believe. And it's because he did not want to associate his Fig Boot brand with a company that was seen as lacking in customer service, which is completely understandable. And the response from Ben Walsh, partnering with Emmy at Pen Venture, and really developing a world-class customer service team within Pen Venture, partnering with Gravitas, has turned things around. Orders are getting shipped out. Customers are being notified if there's changes, if anything's going wrong. These pens are coming out absolutely wonderfully. I'm going to do a writing sample of my Gravitas Sentry in Ultim, which has a fine nib that has this just beautiful audible feedback that I love to hear while I'm writing. It's that integrity, it's that keeping retailers, manufacturers, and other members of the community held to the same standards, to honesty, to integrity, that really makes the fountain pen hobby and just collecting fountain pens and being part of this community really special to me. So this is just a little bit about values of fountain pens that I've observed and am really proud of, and why I'm proud to consider myself a member of the fountain pen community, why I continue to enable friends and family and colleagues. And I'd love to know your thoughts on what value and values that you see in fountain pens. If you would love to comment down below, I'd love to read your take on it, and would love to continue this conversation. And so, yeah, please like the video, subscribe, and be sure to comment what else you feel are the value and values of using fountain pens, of owning fountain pens, and of being part of the fountain pen community. This is Michael, the Penthropologist, signing off.